ما طلبت رأيك بس شكرا. يا ريت مرة الجاي لما أطلب رأيك تعطيني نحط حدود. You're talking to someone, Wassim, who left the house at the age of 18 and I cut off all my family members. It was too much for me. Like the pain is too much. I can't breathe without crying. I can't wake up. I can't sleep. Like I can't do anything functional. We have failed, man. We have failed to see them, to hear them, to support them, and to act like they're a human being. I don't know. That's such a big responsibility.
Rahaf, how are you today?
Great and grateful. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm really inspired, and I'm very happy that you have accepted to be our guest today.
Oh, thank you for the invite.
I was really looking forward to talking to you.
Same.
I'm one of your big fans, by the way. And
I still don't know how to receive it. But thank you so much for saying that.
Tell us about you, Rahaf. Who is Rahaf? And I believe you have a very wonderful common name called Ray as well.
Yes. It's easier for people to call me Ray, Ray of Sunshine. Who is Rahaf? That's a big question. That is because I'm still learning who is Rahaf. You know, I have been living with so many versions of who Rahaf is. So عندك Rahaf like the traumatized, the girl in pain who fears abandonment, who went through so much in her life. Then you have Rahaf, the one who's learning, who decided to break the patterns, to live differently, to heal, to go to therapy. Then you have Rahaf who turned her back on everything to start fresh and anew. And then you went. So right now, in this moment, Rahaf is getting to live life in a different lens, with more curiosity, with an open mind, with an open heart, owning who she is, encouraging people to embrace who they are. Like, you want to do something weird, go for it. You want to enjoy something that is really unheard of, go for it. Just live life the way your heart wants you to be. So, seriously, I don't have an answer, except that Rahaf wakes up in the morning, curious, excited, willing to help others and herself.
What's your favorite quote?
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
I don't have one because every day I read something and then I go like, oh, I like this. No, then I like that. So as long as the quote resonates with me, speaks to me, has some sort of a truth behind it, then I consider it as one of my favorite. But I can...
Because you have the habit of posting quotes.
I love them, especially when I admire people who are able to articulate something about the world, the way we see the world, with just words. It's like poetry. And I love it. For example, Rumi. I love Rumi's wisdom, quotes, life journey, all of it. Like I haven't done so much research on that, but it resonates with my heart. So anything that Rumi has written, for me it would be like, it's like a yummy dance to the mind, to the soul, to the heart, and you can see it from my face, like it blooms. So on the other hand, any quote that inspires me to either look at something from a different perspective. I never thought about it that way. Or I used to think this. Maybe I should see things give it another try or do it in a different way. Then that quote, for example, would speak to me. So I don't have an answer, and I don't like to limit myself to just one option, you know? So anything that speaks, that has authenticity in it, that has some value to people reading it, some good intentions behind them, and that is heart-centered, then that quote would be a favorite.
Do you take these quotes as some sort of direction in your life, or just inspiration?
Guidance? Sometimes. Hello. Nice question. Guidance, sometimes affirmation or confirmation to something I'm considering or thinking about. So you would be thinking about doing something, and then you see a quote and you look at it like, are you kidding me? It would be like your answer, yes, go for it. So it really depends where I am in life, how am I feeling, what's my emotional state. And then I read something, it either hits a chord and it encourages me or invites me to, let's say, sit with that emotion or sit with that pain. Mm-hmm. Or if I'm seeking a new path, a new direction, and then that quote would be like, go for it. So guidance, reassurance, confirmation to something I'm thinking of.
In one of your quotes, you stated that we should really disconnect from gender and move towards human conversations. What has driven that sort of thought? And what's the problem with really referring to genders in our conversation? Why should we?
That's not the problem. We can, of course, at the end of the day, we have two genders, men, women. My issue with the gender-based or gender-centered conversations is that how society has given itself the permission to start a narrative that only supports one party and dismisses the other. That's my issue.
Okay.
So if you are calling for women empowerment, great, do that. But what about men empowerment? What about kids empowerment? What about teens empowerment? Where did that go? Women have... I'm not going to talk about years back, like hundreds of years back. I'm just talking about the modern age. Women have been provided so many tools to navigate their emotions, platforms, to vent, to have this emotional support. So, for example, a woman can go to her friend and say, yo, I'm having a bad day. This is what happened. Whew, I feel better. Amazing. And then she goes on with her day. I'm just giving a simple example. A man doesn't have that.
Sure.
Why? Because at a very young age, and we have been saying this for a long time now, and alhamdulillah, things are changing. Yani, you can see that the society is, maybe she's right or someone else is right, because you can see the results. Like relationships are failing, businesses are taking a hit, or the business's success is taking a hit on the man's mental health. Kids and parents, for example, or kids and fathers, they don't have that connection, like the spiritual connection, the emotional connection. They don't have that. So gender-based conversations and discussions or campaigns, why are we dismissing the other party? Let's both get the support. Let's both be heard and seen and valued for who we are, not just for what we are. Yani not because I'm a woman, it's okay for me to go to therapy, and just because I'm a man, it's a stigma.
But what do you think over the past 30 years, there has been so much propaganda around women empowerment? I mean, what was driving this?
I get it. Don't start a war. No. I'm not the person to talk about women empowerment because I don't believe in women empowerment. I believe in women support. The difference is empowerment, the word on its own, it says you're empowering someone, you're giving someone the power. We all have that power. But it's either we are in an environment that doesn't allow that power to get out or to take let's say, to be loud. And there are environments that will support that. So who are we to empower someone? Under what right or title do we give ourselves that permission that, yes, I can empower you? Let's stop that conversation. We can support one another. So women support, just to answer your question, it started from the inequality or the injustice when it comes to women and men at work. or in relationships. A woman and a man both can apply to the same job, same qualifications, same experience, different salary, or different kind of respect. A woman has to wear a mask, step into the room, making everyone respect her لأنه she's the woman and no one's going to take her seriously, for example. While a man can just enter a room and be like, hi, I see you. You know what I mean? So that's, I think, where women empowerment have started. لأنه we had, not we, the ancestors, the past generations had to fight for human basic rights. And then it grew, those rights grew to take another shape or form. In a divorce, a woman has to fight for her kids. Why?
Have you seen, if we compare that to many decades, so have we seen the positive impact behind all this?
Of course. Like now,
but there's still women who have to fight for
women are building
divorce.
empires these days. Of course, you can see the impact. They're building empires at work, in the business, in the society, in their families, home. Of course, you can see the impact. They're breaking the traumatic patterns with their kids. You see the impact.
How about at home?
You see the impact, definitely. I can't speak for everyone, but I have seen it firsthand with women I've known in my life, and I've seen the amount of growth that they have chosen to do at home with their kids, the way they deal with their kids when they're crying all night. We think it's for no reason, but how she can hold her daughter with so much grace, so much patience, so much love, without letting her past trauma affect the way she's, raising her kid. The way, for example, women choose to take a breath before jumping into a conclusion or getting defensive or taking things personal in a conversation with a spouse, with a sibling, or whatever it is. This is growth. A woman not being threatened by another woman's success. No, I'm going to cheer for you because your success doesn't undermine mine. That is impact. Do
we need to work around men's mental health now? Is this the era
You're
now?
You're late to the party, Wassim.
Since it's been 30 years of women support and empowerment, I think it's about time that we look into men's... now, you're against the word empowerment.
Totally.
So you feel like as individuals, we should empower ourselves. We shouldn't get it from outside.
Absolutely. You want to help other people, you can influence them by modeling the way you would like to have that impact or influence or value. Show up the way you would like people to follow the lead, for example. Show them the way. Lead the way. That could be one way of doing that. The second way whenever you're having a conversation with someone or whenever you are in a place that has so many people and you see something that doesn't align with your values or you feel like there's injustice, speak up. Don't be afraid to raise your voice. And by raise your voice, I don't mean to yell. No, raise your voice, like speak up. Allow that person to be supported and the word that I'm looking for instead of just sitting and watching and saying, this is not on me, it's not my responsibility, this is not something that I should be part of. If you see something that needs to be spoken about, speak about it. For example, in a work environment, right? An employee is being mistreated. Instead of saying, no, speak up, defend that person. Of course, as much as your capacity. That's the person that I am. Like, I can't see something that has injustice in it and stay silent. And then you teach that person to speak up for themselves. That's what I would call empowerment. Allowing people to be who they are, reminding them of how powerful and beautiful they are, and help them use that power.
So these people who cannot express themselves or cannot get involved or have the fear of getting involved. Here now we're talking about the mental health situation. let's take a line towards men then. Okay, so because in your field you paid so much attention to this, and we'll discuss reasons why.
Yeah.
But before that, I'm curious to know. Maybe majority of the men have the problem of expressing their emotions, whether at home or anywhere else. What is really driving this? I know you can tell me culture and all that, but I've been around, and I even saw it outside the Arab world as well. But it's very common, and I can say, from your perspective, what have you learned, and what is causing this?
I'm going to ask you a different question, probably lead to the same conversation. When was the last time you expressed an emotion openly? Sadness, grief, anger.
To myself only.
Perfect. Why is that?
Because I'm possibly worried about the response, rejection, misunderstanding. Also, I think it's about I don't want to show signs of weakness. These are some of the reasons that come to my mind.
That's the answer to your question. It's better that people hear it from a man, because...
But where is that coming from?
That's coming from the way men are raised.
We're raised to stay strong?
Not raised to be strong. That I have to be strong. You have learned it as a coping mechanism. That's how you cope, because you were raised that your emotions are not important in different ways, in different families. So, for example, if you are crying and someone came to you, like by someone means one of your parents, shh, stop crying, man up, boys don't cry, شد حالك, فوت لجوا, حاج تبكي, بلا دلع. We all got raised to those statements. Parents thought this is how we're making our kids strong, resilient, independent, whatever that is. Or in some cases, because they were busy providing, building a life, trying to make ends meet, different reasons. They knew what, they did what they knew at that time. But that also created a coping mechanism that is unhealthy. So men learned at a very young age, if I cry, then my parents are going to yell at me or get annoyed by me, which means they won't love me. So let me suppress that emotion and show them that I'm a good boy.
And that eventually that type of
you
behavior.
You get men who are emotionally unavailable, who suppress their emotions, they become angry, they become very skeptical of any sign of love. Why are you being nice to me, for example? Because they haven't been shown any healthy shape of love as a young age. Love was, I gave you food, I gave you a roof on your head, I gave you this, I gave you that. تربيح الجميلة بطريقة, this is love. For parents, that was love. But also for the kids, they learned about love in that way, which wasn't right or healthy.
Hatta at school, we would not let go of any kid or boy. Let's say if a boy is seen crying, that eventually opens up the.
ما تضحك رفقاتك عليك. Don't let people.
You're putting a plate of bullying.
You're embarrassing yourself if you're crying.
Yeah. And how do we change that mindset?
You break the pattern. You choose that. You know what? It's not comfortable, but I'm going to break the pattern. What does breaking the pattern mean? It's just a choice that I'm choosing to show up in a different way. It's going to be very uncomfortable. I'm going to get heat in my cheeks, but I'm going to do it anyway. So one example could be expressing an emotion. It's uncomfortable to express an emotion because you're letting your heart open. You're letting yourself be seen. And this is one of the biggest fears that most of us struggle with, to be seen for who we are.
Like, let's say, if we expressed an emotion and your response was sarcastic, or your response...
My response to your emotion was sarcastic.
Yeah, let's say sarcastic.
That's on me, that's not on you.
That's why the fear of the response
topic. Okay.
of the unknown This is what keeps us emotionally
absolutely
quiet.
This is why I turned the question to you, لأنه you have all the answers to everything you're going to ask me about men's mental health. When it comes to, I just want to highlight this point because I don't want it to go without discussing it, which is people's reactions to our vulnerabilities or our emotional expression or anything that we say or do differently or different than them. Let them. And that's one of the most powerful lessons that I have learned and still learning. Let them. Let them take a wrong image about you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them cut the relationship with you. Let them. Why is this powerful? Because you're not allowing or giving permission to anyone but yourself to get affected by someone's misunderstanding about you or someone's judgment. لأنه at the end of the day, what I see in you is a reflection of me. So if I got sarcastic about your vulnerability and your emotional openness, that means that I would love to be as emotionally open and vulnerable as you, but I'm going to criticize you because I criticize myself in a closed door. Once people, it's not as easy.
Of course, no, it's not.
I'm still learning it, that the way people see me, I'm going to give you an example. I have been on so many podcasts. One of them with Anas, AB Talks. Recently, they have shared a reel, and even though the episode has been aired 2 years ago, if you look at the comments, you can see hundreds, Wassim, hundreds bullying me, making comments about things I'm saying, things I'm doing, things I'm wearing, whatever that is. If that happened, or if Rahaf, let's say 4 years back, read the comments, I would have locked myself in the room, went to my therapist, went to my best friend. Why are people mean? This is not... And I would really make a lot of effort to prove them wrong. Like, no, I'm not what you're saying I am. Rahaf today read the comments. My heart went, oof, it hurts. And then I just, but this is not about me. This is about them. So let them.
It's about
and
them.
I went and released whatever pain I was feeling. I know it still hurts. But then you realize, wait, this is not about me. Just because someone said it doesn't make it true. So people's reactions to your openness, to your authenticity, to your choices in life and the way you want to show up, that's on them. Either you can decide to educate them. So for example, Wassim, last time I opened up to you, I didn't really feel comfortable about the way you reacted or responded. Your sarcasm made me feel like I cannot be safe around you, or I cannot be safe in expressing myself around you. And given our relationship, I would like that to be different. Can we talk about it? If that person is important, you can have that conversation and you can educate them. If not, bye-bye.
So learn to ignore, disconnect, and move on if they don't mean much to you.
They can mean the world to you and still choose to cut them off from your life because they're not aligned with the version you're becoming.
But I disagree. You cannot cut off people like that.
Yeah, you can. We can't. We think we can't. And we love them so much. We're attached to them. Again, everything I'm saying is something I personally have
And I'm not talking
done.
about friends. I'm talking about family.
Friends, family. You're talking to someone, Wassim, who left the house at the age of 18, and I cut off all my family members. And I'm not saying or encouraging anyone to do that. But you can. It's just hard. It's a different kind of hell.
But maybe you had your reasons. You had your reasons.
Yes, of course. I had my extreme reasons. But in this case, if one family member or a collective family members are affecting your mental health, are influencing your journey, your life path, your career, whatever that is, and you're only doing things so you can please them, then there has something has to be done differently. Either set boundaries and live with the consequences, or stay with them, live with the consequences, or cut them off and live with the consequences. There is a price for every choice we make. But how much are you willing to pay? So yes, you can cut people off. You can love them to death and still cut them off, because at the end of the day, no one's going to do the work for you. No one's going to make choices for you. And no one is going to come to you and say, oh, you're feeling bad today? Here's some cup of love. And unless you do that to yourself. And it's one of the most challenging decisions that you have to make in your life. But at the end of the day, in my case, it was, what do I want? I want to be in spaces where I can be myself. I want to be with people or around people where I can feel welcomed and loved in any stage of my life. And I'm constantly healing. So I'm not going to be the same person you saw last year or 2 years back, for example. Yeah. And then someone comes and starts to make comments, for example, about a certain behavioral change, whatever that is. You have to make a choice. Do I still want them in my life? Are they aligned with the person I'm becoming or not? If not, you have to make the choice. So, and I was telling you, my circle, like, مش إنه it's small. It's like so small.
You're being selective.
Beyond, because I really want to have rahafs in my life, but different kinds of rahaf. They're heart-centered, they're open-minded, they welcome all kinds of emotions. ما في emotion that's going to be judged or dismissed or pushed away. We hold each other accountable, for example. Like, it's so specific. And I know that the universe is abundant and open, and I'm going to attract those people. But I'm not willing to spend my time and energy and effort with someone who cannot match where I am in this time of my life. I've worked so hard to be the woman that I am. So you meet me where I am, you teach me something new or help me be better, and it's reciprocated.
You're happy with that small circle?
Oh, happy, grateful, flowing, all of it. Sometimes you feel like, where did everyone go? In occasions or celebrations. And then you think, wait a second, no, I'd rather celebrate with one person who gets me in Rahaf. No, better than 100 people who just come once a year. Oh, hello, happy birthday. 100%. 100%. I'm 100% convinced and content with the price that I paid, which is small circle, very small circle. But there's peace of mind. The heart is light. I'm okay with it.
Love this. Tell me, how is mental health and physical health interconnected?
Wow.
Because there's definitely a bond between both.
They are. Like, it's... imagine the physical health and the mental health are like dancing partners. If one of them trips, then the second's going to lose rhythm. The same thing. So the more you give attention to your physical health, the more your mental health is going to improve, and vice versa. You ignore this is going to take a toll on it. Yani, let's give an example about stress. Right? Stress is not just overthinking or anxiety or worrying. No, stress also shows up in different ways in your body, like headaches, heart palpitations, not being able to eat properly, digestion problems, back problems. Stress shows up in different ways. So, ما في شيء اسمه إنه let's take care of let's go to the gym every single morning.
Okay.
But not give my emotions some space, not take care of my mental health, be a workaholic, don't spend time with doing things that you like or you love or bring you joy and, you spend time with people who drain you from energy. Like, لا, it doesn't work that way. But I go to the gym twice a day. Good for you. What about the mental health? And again, going, for example, to...
But if you start your day with exercise and...
we're not but that's it. They are dancing partners. Go to the gym and do the work.
But I'm saying if you start your work with exercise, okay, that doesn't automatically impact your mental mindset throughout the day compared to someone who starts...
It really depends. There's no one size fits all, which is very important to highlight. ما في شيء اسمه do this and this is going to happen. لأنه كمان it's different from your level of where are you on the stress level, for example. Is it a 9/10 or a 2/10? So it's different. But going to the gym, body movement, releasing that stress definitely is going to help. For some people, it's a short-term solution. And for some people, it's a lifestyle. I don't go to the gym to release stress. I go to the gym because I like it. It makes me a better person. What is your intention?
Okay.
I wanted to say something, then I held back.
Well, and this is the time for it, yeah. شو بدك تقولي؟
لا, what I want to say is, يا ريت after this episode or whoever is watching, that mental health no longer becomes something to take care of because things are bad. Like, no, take care of your mental health because you are someone who deserves to have a calm nervous system. You deserve to have a life that is aligned with who you are, to live happily ever after. And what is happily ever after? Regulated emotions, functional family, aligned values with everything that you do, being able to wake up really feeling so grateful and curious about what's coming in on your way, instead of just going to the gym or therapy as a form of avoidance or a form of distraction or a form of ignoring what's going on here. Therapy is not just something we go to لأنه we're depressed. لا, therapy we go to لأنه it's a tool. It helps you learn. أنت مين? What do you like? Who are you without all that money and titles and the materialistic stuff? Who are you? يعني سألتني who is رهف? I don't know who is رهف. عم نتعرف عليها من أول وجديد. So,
بس احنا still see therapy as something to be considered when you're feeling unwell.
Unfortunately. But therapy is gym. Therapy is emotional gym. The gym is fitness. It's for your physical. I think we're getting there. I don't know when but I hope really soon.
At what age did you start considering mental health as part of your daily routine?
Mental health as part of my daily routine.
Oh, therapy.
Oh, that's a good question. Long time ago. يعني 15 years ago, 16 years ago.
And that decision
more or less, I don't remember, but it was long time ago.
And I believe that decision was triggered by some incident or education? Or both?
The serious act of going to therapy started when my dad died by suicide. But I did get introduced to therapy before that, I think a few years before that, and I didn't like it. Like, I remember going to my first therapy session, what kind of BS is this? I don't like it. Why should I open up to a stranger? I had that attitude. I remember clearly, that's it, my last time I'm going to go to a therapist. When my dad died, and then I thought, we need to do something. I started doing therapy hopping or therapists hopping. اللي هو I'm literally going from one therapist to another until I find the person that it's going to help me. And that's my first lesson in therapy. That was my first lesson in therapy that I keep now saying, which is find the right therapist. Yani, do you feel comfortable? Do you feel safe? Do they have the same values? Do you feel like, I can have a breakdown in this room with this person? I can trust them with my heart, with my pain, with my... Then it's going to be like, this is what I'm going through. Take it and help me. And ever since that day, I started experimenting and going into different kinds of therapies. Talk therapy, 9-month therapeutic or theater therapy workshop, EFT, اللي هو emotional freedom technique. So many techniques, and all of them came together as a puzzle, helped me to be where I am right now. But I still go to therapy.
After your dad passed away, may his soul rest in peace.
Thank you.
Did you choose therapy because you couldn't find any guidance at home?
There was no home. Like, I was living alone at that time.
Your mom or dad were divorced?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I left the house. I was 18 years old, living on my own.
And prior to that, you were living with your father?
Like, it's a complicated story.
The reason I'm trying to get...
At the age, yeah, I get it. So, very quickly, I was raised in Dubai as a young kid. And then at the age of 13, 14, we had to leave and go back to Beirut. I lived with my mom and her family. My dad stayed in Dubai and then traveled to, I think, was KSA. And then moved to Qatar. Like, it was so much going on. So I lived with my mom and her family. Then at the age of 18, when they got divorced, I was like, bye-bye. Toodaloo. I'm going to create my own life now. So when he passed away, the reason why I went to therapy is because I couldn't go where he is. Like, I attempted suicide 3 times. And for me, it was like, yalla. And it didn't work. So I felt like something is wrong in terms of why is it not working? Why is the pain too much? I need to do something about it. And it really just happened, the therapy part, because it was too much for me. Like, the pain is too much. I can't breathe without crying. I can't wake up. I can't sleep. Like, I can't do anything functional. So this is not the person that I want to be. And at some point, I became very toxic. Like, one of those people that now I feel like, oh, they need so much love. I was hurting other people. I don't want to see anyone happy. Like, I was so angry at the world, at myself, at my dad, at my family. It was such a heavy emotion to carry with me, hence deciding to go to therapy. And I didn't want to just give it up from the first time or the second time, even though it was expensive. Back then, I was Yadob employee. It was expensive, time-consuming, it was painful. Some therapists were like, what are you doing? I felt I was not being understood by them. So it was a long journey until you find the right therapist. And you just take it one day at a time. No, you have an end goal. Like, I just want to live. I just want one more extra day. And بتجر.
How old were you when you decided to commit suicide?
I think it was 23, 24. My dad died. I was 23, and that was in August 2010. So sometime in that year and the year after.
And I believe I read somewhere that you linked his death because something to do with not expressing his emotions.
Yeah, this is how I came to learn about the stigma around men's mental health in the Middle East. لأنه بابا وأنا, we were so close, like so close. We used to talk about so many things. Like, most of the things that now I had to unlearn a lot of things, but the core values, the basics of life and love and people, I learned it from him. And we used to have those deep conversations, like so much I have taken from him. So I just assumed, and I was a kid, but I assumed that if he's having a bad day, he's going to come and tell me about it. I used to vent a lot to him. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling well. I'm having a bad day. I'm depressed. I'm this. I'm that. So I just assumed it's a reciprocated relationship. He would just say, like, things are tough. Things are not working well. But inshallah, it will get better. And back then, I didn't have the knowledge that I had today. So I thought it was just, it's It's a bad day. It's fine. It's going to be okay. When I learned that he had died by suicide, it was such a shock. What? Why? What happened? So now I can say it's because of not just him
but how did
suppressing his emotions.
But how did you come up with that conclusion?
By now, all the experience and everything that I have went through. But back then, nothing. I was so ignorant about, like, why would he do that?
Was he unhappy in his life? Or
I don't have the answers.
Okay.
But I can build a story based on what I know now about men and how things work. I can build a story, an assumptive story. Like I can assume unhappiness, divorce, struggles at work. Like I remember that he was struggling to find a job back then. So from being successful, from being like in a very high place in life and in society to rock bottom. So you don't know what kind of stories he was telling himself. You don't know what kind of voices were in his head. Yeah. We haven't seen him for 5 years, like live. It was all recently. حتى تعلم على السكايب يعني. So I can now imagine how tough it was for him. And then no support. Like he is in a place where he doesn't have family next to him, friends. I don't know. يعني ما بعرف. But given what I do now, what I see from my experience, the pain must have been unbearable. And he didn't want to let his kids down. He felt he was not enough. He felt like he didn't be a good dad or a good husband, or he just felt he wasn't enough. And probably he thought he was doing us a service by leaving.
Do you still talk to him?
Oh, yes. Not as much as I used to before, but just last night I did. It doesn't happen as much as before. And that's the interesting thing about grief. It stays with you, but it takes a different shape. Now, grief comes to me in different ways. Like last night, I really felt like I miss him so much. I have had a beautiful year. Like it has been so generous. I want to tell him about it. So I literally just sat before bed and I spoke to him. He hasn't replied yet. When he does, I'll let you know. But usually, بيبعت لي like songs, numbers, people, things that people say to me that he used to say. So I would look at someone and say, "Thank you for delivering the message." There's no attachment anymore.
No.
That's the difference now. Like before, I used to talk to him. No, I was so desperate. I was so attached to. Please don't let go. Now, no, I'm happy. Like, whatever you are, I hope you're in peace. But اليوم, I feel like talking to you, so let's do that.
What was the time frame between your 3 suicide attempts?
In all honesty, I don't remember. In all honesty, my memory has blocked that. But I can tell you it was between 2010 and 2013 or 2014. The reason I remember that timeline is because 2010, he has died by suicide. 2014, I enrolled in the 9-month workshop. Finished around September, October. And then I applied to Dubai and I came.
How did you overcome the attempt? Was it through therapy or was it just yourself? For not attempting to do it again?
No, it wasn't neither this or that. It was me going blind for 4 days. خفت. Like, no. يا أما نموت يا أما ما بدي انشل أو انعمى. You know, like...
Okay.
خفت من the consequences of the act of suicide. Like, لا شو ما بدي... Like, I don't want to live my life with a pain or إعاقة or... لا يا أما proper death. Yeah, I don't want it. So that was my wake-up call. When I woke up...
If at that time someone guaranteed to you a simple death, you would have taken the call.
Back then, 100%. Yes, back then, like, just tell me how and I'll make it happen. But that was, to be honest, the reason why I felt, طيب, fine, okay, this is not working. There has to be something to do about it. And that's when I started to take therapy seriously, like take it seriously. And let's dig deep. And I went for it.
So that's now, we're 10 years.
Yeah. 2014, 10 years.
Okay. I read in an article in Medical News today, it says surveys from around the world find that males everywhere are reluctant to talk about their mental health and are more likely to die by suicide than females.
True.
I know we already discussed it, but again, why do men face social stigma about showing their emotions or talking about their level of anxiety to a point that it might lead to suicide? I know we've discussed. Do you think your father is an example of this statement?
My father is an example. Every man who died by suicide is an example. By we, I mean society. And I stand by that statement. We have failed men.
That's a very strong statement.
We have failed men. We have failed to see them, to hear them, to support them, and to act like they're a human being. They're providers, protectors, على راسي وعيني. Yes, we're not dismissing that part. But why not let them provide and protect with a light heart, with a clear mind, with a well-rested nervous system? Why does it have to be that if I'm having a bad day, for example, in a relationship or in a marriage, why is it okay for everyone in this household to come to you as the man, dump their days and their baggage on you, and you have to cheer everyone up? And then when you're facing something, no one has time for that, or no one knows what to do with that. And here, it's two things. Ya amma, we don't know what to do with your emotions, لأنه we don't have the tools and we're not used to it. يعني, if my partner came to me and said, I'm having a bad day, or started crying in front of me, if I do not have the tools, what do I do with that? So
or we have the
my
perception.
reaction could be, talk to someone else, do something, whatever it is. لأنه it made me uncomfortable. Or the second thing is that I'm so focused on you being the protector and provider in this family. لا مش وقتها. عنا bills, عنا مصاريف, عنا مدارس, you know. So with time, we're giving simple examples, but it's way deeper than this. With time, you're going to say, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to create drama. I don't want to create a scene. I don't want them to see me as weak. What if they stop respecting me? And these are statements, Wassim, are coming from clients I've worked with. What if my wife stopped loving me? What if our intimate life stopped being fun or exciting? What? And then wait a second. La, I shouldn't be working with men. I should be working with women. So we have failed men, 100%.
Talking about failing, but at home, do you think the wife and kids have the perception that the husband will eventually overcome his own obstacles alone?
Of course, لأنه we're hyper independent. We are الأبضيات of the family. We have been like, I got this. We are born with I'm like مش we, but most of us, yeah, and especially men, born with the I got this attitude. If someone called you at 3 a.m., don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
If one of the kids got sick, of course, I got this. You go to rush to the hospital. If your wife is feeling emotional, I got this. You pamper her with something. You hold her. You make sure she's comforted. When something happens to you, you don't even allow someone to give you the, what is the word I'm looking for?
Well, support, listening.
The support, but the same thing, yani, reciprocate what you do to other people. You don't even give them the opportunity.
Because you don't change the perception.
For you, I got this. Khalas, it's fine. I got this. It's okay. How many times have you heard in a conversation someone says, it's fine. I don't matter. ما تعطله همي. That's what I mean.
So he's worried about his image.
He's worried about his image, but he has also convinced himself that he is a Superman. And Superman, in his world, doesn't take the cape off. Mbala, Superman, he takes the cape off, he sleeps at night, he goes to therapy, he takes care of himself and other people.
That's Batman.
That's Batman. Okay, let's be Batman. Okay.
I think another reason is because maybe husbands get a bit concerned if they open up about certain concerns they have at home. And they're worried that home might feel a bit uncomfortable and unsafe. Oh, the husband now is in a problem. So I think there's a bit of that as well. I don't wanna discomfort them. Let me worry about my own problems, and I never have to share them. So I don't give them that fear that there's something coming in the future. I guess this is also one of the reasons why they don't speak up. Again, this is why I said the image of Superman or Batman.
Yeah. No, I get it. But what is the cost?
Maybe they also believe they will never find the solution at home.
Well, let me ask you this. What is the cost?
The cost is definitely, listen, every man knows that the more you absorb, the more you're going to have to pay the price one day for your health.
Or your family is going to pay the price that they did not ask for.
Yeah.
Your kids would love to have a healthy dad, and healthy dad doesn't apply just for fitness health. لا, mental health, emotional health. ما كمان أنت the way you show up, you're teaching your kids how to show up in the future.
Correct.
It's a human feeling, or it's a human need. يعني it's normal to crave stability and safety, 100%.
Yeah.
But if you do not feel safe in your own emotional world, how do you expect others to feel safe around you, or to help you feel safe in their emotional world? So,
you know that saying when they say, "Mom, what's wrong with Dad? Don't worry, he'll take care of it."
Yeah.
That image is too strong, huh?
And that's
what we want to hear.
Explains or describes. That describes, summarizes. That's the word. That summarizes how the stigma started. And what needs to be changed. So next time, Mom, what's wrong with your dad? Oh, I don't know, honey. Let's go ask him.
That's a better way.
Let's go ask him. How can we help? What do you need? And sometimes, believe me, Wassim, you were talking about solutions. But sometimes the solution is just the fact that you know someone cares so much about you that they're willing to show you support in any shape or form that you need. We're not going to solve your problems, but we're going to help you sit with it, brainstorm. What do you need? That's the misconception. I feel so many people, again, we go back to not knowing how to hold space for other people. I know it gets scary, but it's not. Sometimes, seriously, it's as simple as, do you mind if I sit with you in silence? Okay. I heard another, now we have an agreement, my friend and I, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. I learned it, or we learned it from Simon Sinek, which is every time, for example, that friend sent me a message, 8 minutes, which means we're going to pick up the phone and vent for 8 minutes, or we hold space for one another for 8 minutes. أوقات, all you need is a listening ear. That's it. What do you need today? Do you need advice, or do you need just someone to listen to you?
You mean 8 minutes, one of you has to talk, the other has to listen?
Yeah, so it became like a keyword.
Okay.
You send me on WhatsApp 8 minutes. I reply back 8 minutes. And you pick up the phone and call me. For 8 minutes, I will listen to you. No advice, no solutions, no suggestions unless you ask me.
And how did that work?
Sometimes it helps. It helps. Sometimes you don't know what to do with everything. You need to let it out. I would love it if all of us got educated on the way we hold space for ourselves. When we start feeling uncomfortable with our emotions, for example, I used to get so much shame and guilt for every emotion I used to go through, whether it was grief or sadness or sudden explosions of emotions. لأنه أنا I was uncomfortable with it, thinking that I'm embarrassing myself and people are going to think of me 1, 2, 3. The minute I owned, and I'm still learning, مش عم بقول I became the master, but alhamdulillah. The minute I owned who I am and my emotions, you were asking me if I were a sensitive person. I am a highly sensitive person. But now I look at it as it's one of my superpowers, Batwoman. That takes away the power for other people to judge me, to criticize me, or to affect me. You know what I mean? And then they, by just looking at me, they get, look at her. She's so comfortable with her emotions. Maybe I can do that. It's a dominoes effect.
Yeah.
It's a dominoes effect. And just because, كيف الstigma بلشت? One person decided that this is the right way to do it. The second one, maybe without even asking, let's do the same. I'll give you an example. I saw a video. It was such a funny and sad video at the same time. A daughter is watching her mom prepare dinner. And she saw her cutting the end of the turkey.
Okay.
And, Mom, why are you cutting the end of the turkey? Because that's what we do. We cut it. Yeah, but why? And she looks at the turkey and she was like, I don't know. That's what we do. We just cut the end of the tip of the turkey. Mom, I understand, but what is the purpose? The mom went like, I don't know. That's a good question. Let me ask your grandma. She called her mom. Mom, why do we cut the end of the turkey? Because I had a very small tray and it didn't fit.
Wow. So we just took a habit or behavior based that we believe it was correct because somebody else was doing it.
So have questions, ask why. Why am I doing this? Why am I not doing this? What is the purpose of me doing this? You want to express your emotion? Yes, express your emotions, but this is not like an open invitation for people to start crying on the street. Be very mindful and intentional. Where are you opening up? Ma kaman, you have to have the right people. You have to be in the right places at the right time. You know what I'm saying? So it's not extremes. It's not one thing and the other. One or either.
There's another topic. For example, the comfort zone. When we talk about work. Many of us prefer the comfort zone. It's relaxing. It's, you know what you're heading to.
Yeah.
You know the expectations. But then there's always that sound inside you that you're never going to grow or succeed unless you stay in the comfort zone. Do you think, if I'm someone completely satisfied with my financial outcome, I'm happy where I am, I've been in the same job for 20 years, why is that seen negative? Why is
By
that?
whom?
By many within the work environment. Even if you go to a job interview, first thing they'll say, wow, you've been there for 20 years. They see it as a negative point. Yet I know people who stayed in the same job, finished from there, and they're completely satisfied.
Yeah. So what does that tell you?
But everything around you tells you, even on social media, you have to step out from your comfort zone. And somehow it's connected to change, and change would then change your environment, change your job. Again, is that there's another propaganda, or is this really true?
Listen, there is no one right answer to this. This is what I have been learning recently. And it's so easy for me to come and say, get out of your comfort zone, challenge yourself, وإلا ما في growth. It has part of it that is true. And there is truth behind it. But I am recently learning that there's no wrong or right, bad or good. It really depends on everyone's journey. Comfort is not a bad thing. We all like to be comfortable. But my question would be, I would ask it in a different way. Safety. Safety in a way that, do you feel... All right, let's put it that way.
You take risks.
Do you feel taking the risk 100%, because I am a risk taker, but are you doing this? So we go back to the why. are they aligned with the person you want to become? At the end of the day, what is a comfort zone? The comfort zone is something that you have been for an amount of time and you're not trying out new things. Why are you not trying this new hobby? I'm okay with fishing, for example. I don't want to go do horse riding. Why don't you apply for another job? I know everyone who works here in the company. I really don't want to meet other people. When your decisions and choices are aligned with the person you want to become, not the person, like, yes, it's very important to be aligned and safe with the person you are now, 100%. But who do you want to be? Like, مثلا, in my case, right, I have been working towards becoming calmer and calmer and calmer. For someone who has been carrying anger for so long, that's my goal. That's my end goal. I want to be calmer. What was my comfort zone? My comfort zone was isolating myself so I don't get triggered. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? No, this is not... Then getting out the comfort zone was going to therapy, learning more about how to regulate my emotions, how to respond differently, and surround myself in environments or around people that can trigger a specific emotion and see how I deal with that. That's a comfort zone that I took myself out of.
So if I choose a comfort zone because I don't want to challenge myself?
That is, yeah. But is it what you want? Anna, for me, I like a challenge every now and then, and this is how it shaped who I am. But why are you doing that challenge? It's really important. Why? Because I want to invest in my next 70 years. عرفت? Fine, that's the price. So
staying
I really don't want to say something and then people would take it, look at her, she said that. No, it's really personal. When it comes to growth and comfort zones, it's really personal. The only thing that I would say, if it aligns with who you want to be, perfect. You want to be the person who stays in that job for 20 years, good for you. But if you're doing it just because of the salary and a family is depending on you and you think that you can't make that number outside somewhere else, then I would suggest you challenge that. Where is that coming from? You know what I mean? Okay. I could talk for hours. Challenge the way you think. That's what I would say. Challenge your mindset.
Challenge your mindset.
Challenge your mindset, yeah.
But if you're in a comfort zone because you are satisfied where you are, there's nothing wrong with that.
If you're, that's it. Satisfaction, most of the time, is alignment.
Good.
And change the people you're surrounded with. Sometimes it's as simple as people you're surrounded with are not good for your future.
Well, they tell you, if I want to know who you are, tell me who your friends are.
It is so true. Oh, it's so true. If one friend once told me, like, Rahaf, if you spend most of your time, or if you are in a room with 5 rich people, then you are number 6. If you sit in a room with 5 people who complain, then you become number 6. And he kept going on and on. I was like, that is so true. So, yeah, challenge your mindset, your limiting beliefs. Get out of that shell. Explore the world. Be curious. Have an open mind. Listen to your heart. I would love to see more heart-centered people and approaches in the corporate world. Be true to who you are. Yani, such a cliché thing to say, but when you dig deeper to it and really be true to who you are, people will follow.
If I want to ask you what can be your... If you have the opportunity now to tell everyone your last words.
I'm dying.
No. Your last words. Last words in the episode. Before you die. I
inspired the question now.
You have people around you. Before you die, we're going to tell you, what is the statement you want to tell us that we need to take to the world?
Oh, that's a good one. Bravo, Rahaf. Okay, wait. Take it to the world.
And you're almost dying. You don't have much time.
I'm almost dying, yeah. Yeah, dope seconds. I don't know. That's such a big responsibility.
Take care of yourself.
No. Allow yourself to be.
How do you want to be remembered?
The woman who took a chance on life, who gave who gave life a chance.
The woman
I want to be remembered as the woman who gave life a chance and made it. The woman who inspired other people to create their own path, to be different, to be unique, to embrace that weird vibe, but in a creative way. The woman who wears her heart on her sleeve proudly. That's how I want to be remembered. The woman, who inspired other people to just choose themselves.
And your message to men?
حبوا حالكم.
Love yourself.
Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. And allow us to love you back.
Rahav, this was a very interesting podcast. I really enjoyed it. It was very insightful, and I hope the viewers have learned so much from this. Taban, something like this will take almost hours of conversation, but we're limited to time.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Yeah.
Is there something you're going to do differently after our conversation?
After I watch it again and again? Yes, of course, because I do these conversations because I want to help myself as well. They're not just for the viewers, And this is why I was so much into podcasts, because I wanted to learn so much about myself from talking to people and listening to advice. But I need to see how do I adapt it and when. And
did you learn something today? Did you learn something today?
Well, I learned one thing that
about Wassim.
First of all, you know what the podcast had taught me?
What?
Over the past year, I became a better listener. So that was one good thing, because I think it's a matter of respect as well. I used to have this very bad habit. I would not let people finish talking, especially if it's a heated conversation. My voice would even rise just for you so I can just take over. Even if I'm wrong, I would go down to a point to mislead conversations, because I only had one thing in my head. It's just I wanted to win that conversation.
Yeah.
That was a very bad habit, and thanks to these podcasts, I was able to change that.
Oh, good for you.
So I realized how much it's important to listen and calm down, as you said, so that you can eventually. You don't want to just throw out words. We have the habit of just talk. No, even one thing I've learned is I've limited my conversations. And when you just talk and then you realize you just really said not much of value. You're just talking for the sake of talking. So being calm, yes, I'm like you. I'm on that journey. I don't have anger management, but I have, you want to call it, I need to control myself more when it's not up to my liking.
When things are not up to...
Again, the way I perceive them. So the outcome, let's say, of that conversation or that setting was not up to my liking.
What a beautiful gift.
What has worked for me also is also leaving the room. But coming back, not leaving forever, but at least when I know it's going to heat up.
Giving yourself space.
Yes. I think that really works, and sit down, don't stay standing. Apparently when you sit down, you get more comfortable. Depending on the person in front of you, again, it's also about the person in front of you, if they also
have the capacity to understand where you're coming from.
And do they want it to be heated up or not? So someone has to play the role of moving out. And I'm a big believer of leaving the room and coming back. And one thing we always, if I have to say something before I die, is always apologize. It means a lot. It means a lot when you apologize.
I like that.
Yeah, apology is the best word you can tell to anyone. Nobody knows the value of the word sorry, especially when you mean it. Some people just assume that you think they're sorry, but no, actually say it. Say you're sorry. Say you never meant it.
I love that.
It's very strong.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Well, I hope you learned from this podcast as well.
I always do.
Derby Talks.